This episode, I'll leave the Baltic through the Kiel canal and return to the North Sea. There, I'm joined by Danish boat builder and veteran sailor Niels Andersen, and together we sail past the Frisian Islands. We encounter strong tides, shallow waters, several thunderstorms, and pass through some of the world's busiest shipping lanes before arriving in Belgium and the end of the North Sea. Transit fees paid. Our VHF is all set. I got the instruction card there. It says one white intermittent light. So I guess that's just not a red one. Man, it seems the cargo ship of the day is actually Norwegian. Who would have thought? And here we go. And that boat is actually from Stavanger, my hometown. So I've had this boat for 4 years, but I've never had it in freshwater. The Kiel Canal is a 98-kilometer long freshwater canal that connects the Baltic to the North Sea, saving about 460 kilometers compared to going around Denmark. It was built on the orders of Kaiser Wilhelm II between 1887 and 1895 for use by the German Navy. The canal partially used the pre-existing Wadden Canal, which was built by Denmark 100 years earlier when the region was Danish. After the First World War and the Treaty of Versailles, the canal was open for vessels of any nation at peace with Germany, and today it's the busiest man-made waterway in the world. It's about 7:30, started 30 minutes ago. I actually had to use an alarm today, which is very unlike me. But when I get to the North Sea, I'll be going from the Baltic with literally no tides to one of the most extreme tidal spots in the world. So I'll be running the river Elbe that goes from Hamburg out into the North Sea. And if you miscalculate the tide, you'll just get sucked right back in. So I'm gonna meet a guy called Niels. He's a Danish boat builder, and he's agreed to sail with me for a week, which I really appreciate. I'm gonna meet him by the locks, but I gotta be there at 1:30 or 2 at the latest. So I'm gonna have to run it all out today. Try to do 5 knots. Ja, men nå er du på film da. Velkommen ombord.
Takk.
Er du klar? Så blir det Biscaya om 3 dager. And we're back in the North Sea. 7 knop.
Men ja, du ser det over på den gule.
Fy faen! So we're actually sailing down the river, and we're really happy it's going that way because we're, well, exceeding hull speed, to put it mildly. We barely have steering speed on the sails. Det er faen ankra. Fy faen, jeg er glad for at strømmen går denne veien. Oi, oi, oi. Bokstaven. Ja. Ikke prestasjonsangst nå. Kom igjen.
Ej du. Der er det sko.
Det er ingenting galt med hornet. So, turn of the tide, fluctuating between 1.3 now and 2 knots. We've got the current coming against the wind, which we have in our back. It's pretty shallow here. So we're rolling around, and it's only gonna get worse. But around midnight, it's gonna turn back again. I mean, we're moving. It's better than nothing. We got food, we're warm. Things are moving around out there. Niels almost lost his glasses. You know?
Now I'm going to bed.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Not me. I'm gonna play catch with cargo ships. The wind picks up to force 6 from the east, creating steep waves as it hits the westerly current. Crossing the shipping lane proves impossible, and I'm forced to sail towards the island of Helgoland. Niels then takes the helm at first light. Well, ja, roa seg litt. Ok, der har vi jo en sånn kystvakt.
Yes.
The autopilot holds up well despite the rolling seas, and we run an old Genoa most of the day to ease the pressure on the tiller. Det hardt vær, Niels.
Det det. Jeg holder på å svette nesten.
Ingen vil. Nei, jeg faen bedre enn det var i natt i hvert fall.
Og vi ser øyene. Østfrisiske.
Det blir deres innseiling da egentlig. So out of the frying pan and into the fire. It's a thunderstorm moving in. Raising the gate into the harbor in time. It looks like it's pretty far south. You like thunderstorms?
Not at sea.
I asked Niels if he's ever encountered anything that looks as bad as what we're facing.
Ikke noget, som ser så dramatisk ud, som det der gør. Der har været på havet, hvor der sådan har været byer og lidt lyn på afstand. Ikke det her.
So we're in a fucking lee shore. Lightning all around, wind's picking up. There's no way in hell we'll make it to the harbor. It's a full-on thunderstorm here. Not much to do. Drop the hook. Hope for the best. So we're anchored, the wind's subsiding. And well, it's lightning all over the fucking place. So just hoping we won't get hit. But as is tradition, I've anchored next to a catamaran with a mast that's a hell of a lot taller than mine. Probably won't die. Pretty much walk ashore if it comes to it. Whoa, we survived. Right there's the Netherlands. So we got ourselves a little mystery here. Something floating in the water. Looks like a, well, it looks like a mine. It's probably a dead whale of sorts. Legger du litt om styrbord?
Jeg tager den på styrbord side.
Ok, jeg vet ikke hva det er under vannet, så du skal holde litt avstand. It's a dead seal. Ja, du ser magen. Ja, han er oppblåst. Poor guy. That's life. So that's the northern Frisian coast. The coast of the Netherlands. We've been motoring all day. It's been super calm. There's a bit of wind further out there, also behind us, but it's blown away from shore. So we've just been recharging all the batteries. Battery for the electric engine, and also our main battery bank, which we've spent 40% of. So we'll make it to the Dutch mainland today. And we'll buy some more gasoline, fuel, and everything we need. So we're just timing the currents, because the currents are really strong here. They run at 3 or 4 knots. And man, Niels is very lazy. He's just been chilling in bed all day.
Oh, fuck off! Who has spent most time playing the buck?
He's been at watch the entire day. He just got off. Mariners are warned that depths in this area frequently change. So follow the buoys. It's a bunch of Dutch sailors, a man said. If the chart shows one thing and the markers show something else, you follow the fucking markers. Otherwise you run aground. We're about 10 kilometers from shore actually. You pretty much walk all the way in. Those ships are just dried out. I think the tidal difference here is 3 meters, something like that. Currently going in the middle of the channel, trying to make it to shore. But man, look at all these flats. It's amazing. And luckily we got a Dane at the helm, and he's used to only ever having half a meter below his keel. This is normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not for me. Tokyo Drift. Frisian Tide Edition. This will be the first time I'm not piloting my own boat to shore. It's never happened before. Litt til styrbord.
Oi, faen.
Har du film? Ja, men så skal du drepe motoren.
Ja.
Like så. So we're in Lauwersoog, or how the hell you pronounce it. My Dutch is non-existent. We arrived pretty late at night. On the internet it said you could pay the marina fees with a credit card. And the whole place is a construction site. Spent an hour and a half walking around trying to find the ticket office, which has been demolished. There's a dark wall in the horizon, which we're trying to flee from. We're north of Ameland. It's one of the West Frisian islands. Our plan is to sail all through the night because tomorrow the wind's gonna pick up significantly. It's a low pressure system moving into the North Sea. Once we clear that cape over there, we're gonna turn southwest. So this is where we spent the night. We're gonna try to get around down here to Den Helder, and then halfway to Amsterdam, hopefully. I spend the night watch dodging fishing boats. There's so many of them that I barely get to read my book. But I got a tailwind and the seas are calm. Niels then takes over at around 2 in the night. The wind was supposed to get pretty strong. Niels didn't give a shit because he's done this a million times. But for me, I was a bit more skeptical. I've done a bit over 100 nautical miles now. Well, I'm getting trashed in here. You're like tossed back and forth. We got 2 reefs in the main sail and a storm jib up. But the current's with us, so seas aren't that bad. Currently just running the storm jib, gusting at 15 to 16. We're still making headway. All the waves we're getting, that's just 1.5 kilometers from land. So, very happy we're not further out. That could be a problem. This is Rotterdam, and there's a hell of a lot of ships coming out of here. I'm gonna try to cross a straight angle. Problem is we're going pretty slowly at times. Now we're doing 4 knots, but we've been down to 2. Probably make it past without getting rammed. Well, that got a little scary with that guy heading straight for me, but he actually altered course. Well, now I had to alter course. Otherwise these guys would have rammed us. Turned away for 2 minutes. If I hadn't, we would have been in front of it. So I found a semi-sheltered bay, so we're just gonna anchor there. There's a gas station close by and a store. Now I'm exhausted. So we're trying to get close to land. The first spot we tried to go in, they had the dike open, so it was a 4.5 knot current, so we couldn't really fight that. I was going further out, but Niels is afraid of deep water, being a resident of Brunsbüttel, so he prefers having like half a fucking meter of water under his keel max, so he can just walk ashore if it gets too scary. But you know, lo and behold, he actually did it. So we're getting close to land. We'll anchor in about an hour. Tired little fella. Hi. So we've navigated through the shallows here. And we're gonna anchor off of this beach. It's mid-tide now, so shouldn't pose a problem. There's the dike. Now we're still in the Netherlands. As you can tell by the marijuana smell coming from shore. There's a grocery store there. Gonna inflate the dinghy, get some food, and get a good nice rest. had a good nice rest here, but now the wind's kicked in. So Niels is gonna sail and I'm gonna do the chores. So I gotta bring the dinghy up on deck. Because we had to take the dinghy out, we kind of had to take all the stuff that's stuffed beneath the cockpit out. So got the bicycle here and everything. But we'll clear it and then we're gonna head for Belgium. There's a reason this anchorage was pretty empty, because there are buildings and things over there. So I spent all day doing my chores, putting everything in its place. And then comes Niels, decided to just go fucking racing, tore everything down. So I told him we can't be with the windows on the water. So he was pretty pissed about that. But now we're just healing 15 to 20 degrees. So I think it's his way of crossing the super shallow parts. Just bending the keel. Danish traditions. So there's your run-of-the-mill thunderstorms coming in. Probably won't hit us. We've been running a gas outboard for a couple hours now, running into the tide, and there's been a 3.5 knot current, the worst of it. So we're drifting north, conserving our gas for the eventual turn of the tide. It'll be windy soon enough. So there's coming. We're gonna have wind coming away from land. We're moving at 1 knot into it, and there's no way to escape it. I'm scared, not gonna lie. So there's not much we can do now. The tide's gonna turn, so that'll be to our advantage. That's why we've been going up against all day, and that's why we never got around to go anywhere. So it begins. We're getting hit dead on now. It's completely black up there, and we're also getting headwind. This is the worst thing that could happen. What do you say, Niels? It's fun?
It's very intense.
I figure the waiting is worse. Oh man, that was a good one.
Det er ikke det mest behagelige vejr, det her. Men nu kan jeg jo stille og roligt se, det klarer mere og mere op fremefter. Så jeg er ikke så bekymret mere.
Så nå får du liksom håpe før en siste linjeslag slår oss ut. Du får se land i det du drukner.
Ja, præcis. Det.
Finally. We're closing in. Close to the pier. And now that we're here, all the thunderclouds are gone. Because that's just the way it is. They only ever arrive at sea. Actually had to refuel in the harbor because it's so massive. Now we're just doing our best to not get lost. In the next episode, the autumn storms finally arrive. I decide to demast and take the Belgian and French canals to the Mediterranean instead of going across the Bay of Biscay in western Iberia.